Peace. Okay, I want to make this quick mukbang. I'm eating the French toast breakfast from Jack in the Box with the good old coffee. Yum. So I just wanted to talk about this dream that I had last night. I've been having dreams. I be having dreams, but I don't necessarily talk about them. So they want me to start talk about them. This dream that I had last night was about my papa, my stepdad, and I was like at my house or something, cooking or doing something at my apartment, wherever the fuck I was in a dream, and I was on like a FaceTime type thing, and I was looking at my papa, and he was sitting watching TV, and he had his phone like pointed to him, and I guess he was watching me, but he didn't realize I could see him, right? So in the dream, I'm just doing me, whatever, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, oh, you look good, Papa, because his hair was like black, and he had hair right before he passed away. He was bald headed and stuff, and he had gray hair, but when he was raising me, he had like a long curl, where it's kind of bald at the top, but he had black curl, like a little Jerry curl. And I remember him looking at me at the camera and like, you could see me? And I'm like, yeah, I can see you. He's like, oh, well, yeah. Let me see how to operate this thing. I didn't really even know you could see me. I just thought I was looking at your ass. I'm like, okay. And I'm telling him, like, I'm about to go come visit you. And he's like, okay, well, that's cool. When you get done doing what you're doing, come see me. So that part was weird. Because at the time when my papa was alive, there wasn't really no FaceTime shit like that. Or if it was, it wasn't like as prevalent as it is right now. So I leave and I go to his apartment, right? Because he had a condo, because he said he was tired of my mama or bullshit. So he had got a condo. This is in real life, he had got a condo, but the place where I went to was way more fabulous than his condo, right? Even though his condo was real nice. This was like high class and all this stuff. So I get to the condo and I'm outside. And I'm like, Papa's not there. He's not at the condo. I just told him I was going to stop by there. And there's a man there, and he's like a mixed dude. Like mixed with Indian or something like that, Indian and black, or Native and black. You could just tell from his features, And he was like, oh, I'll help you because you got 2 bikes. I'm gonna help you ride your bike where you gotta go. And I was like, nah, nigga, I kind of remember you, because it started dawning on me that I had a dream in this place before. It just had been some months ago, and I didn't remember it. But in that dream, some motherfuckers had told me they was gonna do something with these bikes, and they rode off with these bikes, right? And they didn't bring them back. And so I was like, no, I'm gonna do it on my own. The motherfucker still got on the bike and rode off, right? And so I remember going into the basement or the garage area of this condo, because my dad must have lived at the top floor. I never made it up to his apartment in these dreams. I was always downstairs in like the basement. It was like, where the parking garage was. And I remember I got a Facebook friend. He's into spirituality. I got like a little crush on him. He's so attractive to me. But he lived there in this condo, or in this apartment complex or whatever where my dad was living. And I saw him, and I remember telling him, somebody jacked me. I hope you can hear me with this bus. I'm sitting at the bus stop. That's the 108. You know how Nipsey say he riding on the 108? That's the 108, baby. So I'm on Slauson, of course. So he's, I'm telling him this guy stole my dad's bike, and I'm so ashamed because my dad's bike is gone, and there's nothing I can do about it because this guy didn't roll off. I don't know where he's going. I told him that before. It was like 2 other dudes that rode off with my dad's bike, and one of them was like this classic bike. It was like, these are bicycles, not motorcycles. They rolled off, and it was like this classic bicycle that was like green and white, and it was expensive. And they said they were going to, get an evaluation on it, see how much it was worth or something, and they just never came back in the dream. And so I was telling him that, and he was like, that's messed up. And then for this apartment complex that they lived in, it was like high class, and so they gave out these wallets. It was like a diamond wallet, like a regular ass wallet that you put credit cards in, but it was made out of leather and it had diamonds like in it. And he was showing me his, and I was like, yeah, they took that too. And he was like, it was expensive. I just remember being real sad. And he was like, do you have anything of this person? And you know his name or anything, their name? And I was like, no, I can't really remember. And so I just remember sitting there, and this woman walks up, right? This lady walks up to the person, I don't want to say his name, walks up to this person and is like, we're talking, and she sits down, and she's like, hi, and she's like, what are you guys talking about? Or, you know how people are, bitches. Kind of like, oh, you guys are having a conversation, but I'm not really interested in it, but, can you hurry up and get done so we can go do whatever we was going to do? And so I'm like, oh, he got company. Let me do what I got to do. So I remember me looking through my stuff trying to find something of this guy that I could be like, okay, I have something of his. So I found a block of wood and some other things. I can't remember what they were in my dream. I know there was a block of wood and like a chalice or something. So my friend's like, I'm gonna go upstairs and I'll be back in a little bit. I was like, okay. So he goes upstairs, and all of a sudden this chalice with this piece of wood in it burns on fire. It just like combusts. You know what I mean? It started out like a smoke, and then it turned into a fire, and then the stuff started burning until it was like smoldering pieces of wood. So I'm like, oh shit, let me take a picture, let me make a video of this. So I make a video, and he's like, he's upstairs or doing whatever he's doing, with his company. But I knew he was doing some kind of ritual for me on that situation, because he told me, give me some of the persons and I could do something, give me some of theirs or whatever you got going on and I could do something. And I was like, okay. And then all of a sudden this fire starts. I'm like, oh, that's Shango, And then he was like, and Shango came to me before I left Seattle, him and Oya. I told everybody they came and they made love in my body. And Shango let me know that he was in my grandpa now seat, and that he's like my grandpa. And it was fun. That whole experience with Shango was magnificent. He had me dancing, doing all these African dances I ain't never done before. It was amazing. But nevertheless, so my friend comes back downstairs, and I'm telling him, I'm like, that shit busted on fire. What was you doing? He was smiling like, wow, like this shit really worked. He was like, okay. And I was like, but you're up there with your girlfriend. He was like, that bitch ain't my girlfriend. He was like, he was a friend of mine. She's really an acquaintance. I didn't even ask her to come over today. She just showed up, and I'm like, oh shit. Oh, she one of them demon bitches, because that's how they do. They show up and get in your business while you're in the middle of handling business. And he was like, fuck her. She can stay where she's at. And he was like, let me see this pot type thing that you're over. And keep in mind, we're in a basement of a garage where there's supposed to be cars and stuff. I remember when the smoke started, because it was real smoky. The smoke was everywhere. And the people that lived there start coming back, and that's when it started coming back to me that I've been in this place, and these motherfuckers had already kind of talked shit to me before. It was like a storage or something down there, and I was digging through some stuff looking for some of my things. And this guy is there as a brother, and there's other people there, but the brother was the only one that said something, because he kind of liked me, and I turned down his advances, right? And he seen me sitting there talking to this brother, and he kind of started to get jealous, and he was talking shit like, you ain't got no money. We seen what jobs you used to work. And I was like, oh, really? Where? How? And he was like, oh, you left some stuff out, and I got it. So he went and got the whatever I left, and it was a quilt. It was like a tapestry kind of quilt thing, and on the quilt it had names of places and that I had worked and things like this. And for some reason, the name of the person that or the story about the people who stole them bikes was in that quilt. And so my friend was like, okay, give me that quilt. And I would just remember there was like a fireplace that just came out of nowhere right next to the chalice that had the burning wood in it. And he started taking this tapestry, and it turned from being a tapestry to like this big, long, old ass quilt. He took it from the guy and he started feeding it to the fire, and the fire started getting bigger. And all I remember is sitting back, and then my left foot came out, and I was going like this. I was like, yes. And I heard this voice saying, yeah, baby, yes, that's right, do it, yes. And the more he put it was a female's voice, but I know it was me, but it was like everywhere. It was like loud, like I figured everybody could hear, because there was people still standing there and they were watching, but they wasn't fucking with my friend. They didn't want no smoke with him. And he was feeding his fire with this blanket with all these words and shit on it. And I just remember somebody coming out of nowhere talking to that other guy saying, hey, did you hear Jay-Z tried to do a detox of some sort? He did some kind of cleansing, and it released some kind of toxin, and he got sick. He's like in critical condition or some shit like that. And I was like, oh shit. And I was like, oh, he'll be okay. But I just remember that. And then I woke up. I had to go pee. And when I woke up, I went to pee, and they were saying, you need to write this dream down. So I wrote it down, and I was just like, this is crazy. I've never had a dream this crazy with people that I know and to remember it. Because I had that dream before, but I didn't remember it until I was inside the dream. I was like, that's crazy that I'm inside a dream remembering another dream. And when I came out the bathroom, it was smoke, because we keep the window open. It was smoke. Somebody was burning some wood. It is cold outside, but it ain't that cold. But somebody was burning wood in the around where I live. As I smelled the same smell that was in that dream. Well, that's my dream. It tripped me out. They wanted me to tell it. Maybe somebody needs to hear it. Maybe they have an interpretation for it, or maybe they had something similar go on. They know what I'm talking about. Whatever the case is, that's the dream. This is a mukbang. And I think whoever, the guy in the dream, one of my Facebook friends. We've been Facebook friends for years and years and years. And I got like a little crush on him. I think we was married in a past life. I'm pretty sure we were. But he's one of my warriors. And we did a ritual in a dream. And I woke up to smelling smoke, and it was Shango, but it was a female saying, oh yeah, baby. It was like her voice, and it was like a little bit of music behind her, but it was me, but it sounded like somebody else, because it was like everywhere. It was like this voice everywhere just talking as he was feeding his fire. And that was the end of the dream. So I hope you guys enjoyed my dream. Peace and love. Let me finish my mukbang. All right, bye.